And welcome back, team, to Altcoin Daily, where we bring you daily videos on everything altcoin, everything cryptocurrency. My name's Austin. And today we are going to be doing a deep dive into Golem, right now at about 44 cents with about a 5% uptick. Some of you out there are probably maybe feeling really good about yourselves. Maybe you got in early, you got in low, and Golem is going up. But there are probably others of you out there, maybe you FOMO'd in, maybe you're kicking yourselves right now wondering, will Golem ever get back up to what it once was? Either way, I would say that the majority of people out there don't have a clue what Golem is, or if they do, they would always love to know more information, and that is what we're doing today. The goal of today's video is to find out what problem Golem is trying to solve, how do they plan to do this, and how are they keeping to their promise today? I live in Los Angeles, California, and this whole town is about, hey, what can you do for me today? And that is exactly what we're answering for them with this video. Let's start at the beginning. What is Golem? Basically, they're aiming to be the world's first decentralized supercomputer. So, if you have any unused space, any unused power on your computer, you can rent that out to somebody who needs that power. Think of it like Airbnb. If you have an extra room that you're not using, you can rent that out to somebody who needs that room, and in exchange, you make a little bit of money. Same with the computer. If you have that extra space, you can rent that out to somebody who needs it, and then you make a little bit of money. So what problem is that solving? Because, I have some computer space. I don't really understand what problem it's solving. Well, to answer your question, why would you need more computer space, computer power? Artificial intelligence uses a lot of computer power. Machine learning for DNA exploration, which is looking into the human DNA. That you can solve diseases that way. You can better humanity in that way. That uses a lot of computer power. And then what Golem is primarily focusing on is CGI rendering, an area riddled with expenses and long wait times. Interesting. I would think that humanity, DNA exploration, might be a little more urgent. But either way, they know what they want. They have a focus. Believe me, in Los Angeles, there's plenty of CGI. That's a constant problem with all these Marvel movies. I digress. So, how are they doing this? And before we go on, I should mention that some of you right now are maybe thinking, this sounds a lot like what Substratum is doing, another coin. I just want to point out, they are doing a decentralized internet. This is computer processing power. And let's go to the white paper. This white paper, I should also mention that I am no expert. This is not financial advice in any sense. I'm relatively new to the cryptocurrency world. I don't know everything. I have made a little bit of money, a little bit of good choices within the last year, but I'm just a guy, and we're taking this journey together. And I was reminded that I'm just a guy because the white paper actually very heady, a lot of scientific information, which in a sense is good because I know there's people out there that definitely would eat this up. I'm just going to highlight some of the stuff that I found interesting. I encourage you guys to go read it yourself if you want. I just want to finish up with that CGI rendering and read this first quote. CGI rendering is the first and very illustrative case of real Golem usage. Rather than using costly cloud-based services or waiting ages for one's own machine to complete the task, CGI artists can now rent compute. They mean computer. I think these guys are from Poland. Computer resources from other users to render an image quickly. Basically, all I'm saying is that you're able to pick out how much do you value, how much do you think your computer power is worth, and then you can pick whatever price you want to charge, and somebody else can choose to pay for that, cannot choose to pay for that. There's a lot of other information. There's a great roadmap. We're going to touch on the first part of the roadmap a little later. But before we leave the white paper, I want to go to the team. Team is always a big deal when you're choosing which cryptocurrencies to invest in. They have a good amount of people. All these people have mathematics backgrounds, science backgrounds, economic backgrounds, a lot of education, which in a sense is good, but that does not mean that your cryptocurrency will survive. It takes a lot more, like knowledge of blockchain, etc. So I'm just going to focus on a few, name some highlights. Julian, the CEO, I went to his LinkedIn page, and he is also an advisor on Horde, which is video games, and he's currently also the CEO of IMAP. So I went to IMAP's webpage, and right on the front it says, "We specialize in distributed computing, blockchain technologies, computer graphics, and game development." And they're also partnered with Omise Go, Horde, and Golem. Partnered, I don't know, but working with. They have great relationships with these three companies. To me, what this says is, thank God there's some blockchain technology experience on there. Always a good sign. And these guys are heavy hitters. They're up-and-comers, so all good thus far. I still wanted more information on blockchain knowledge, because believe me, if there's one thing they can easily take away from this, is these guys are smart in a book sense. So last but not least, I went to the key developers, and I was actually also really impressed. I'm just going to read Alex right here. Alex has been involved with Ethereum from a very early stage. He famously worked on ETHDev, where he architected and coded Dev P2P, peer-to-peer, Ethereum's underlying P2P protocol layer. I'm, again, a little newer to cryptocurrency, so I'm hoping I'm pronouncing these right, but Ethereum development. Either way, this guy's been with blockchain for a while now, which is very promising, and Alexandra is also tons of knowledge and practice with research and development. She worked for IMAP too. I guess this guy hires from within. All in all, if I may summarize this was a big green flag for me. These guys seem like they should have a great concept on what to do and how to do it. So I really like their team. Let's get to the roadmap, because it's about what they're doing today. If you want to check out the full detail, check it out right here on their white paper. But you might have seen an article that came out in the last few days, which is Ready, Set, Launch. Part of their Brass Golem has come to fruition with the beta version has come out. What this means is if you have a Mac, if you have Windows right now, you can go to their website and you can start trading some of your processing power right now in their beta version for in exchange for money, their coin, GNT. I'm just going to read you one quote about that from one of the higher-ups of the company. "Our decision to release the beta is based on the fact that even though this new stage will expose our project to diverse risks, it is not possible or responsible to say a product is finalized without real users." Interesting, because what I'm hearing from that quote is even though it's going to expose them to a lot of scary flaws and risks, it's irresponsible not to do it. I mean, that's not a lot of confidence. That's not what I want to hear from a CEO or whoever this is, one of the higher-ups. But let me just finish the quote. Golem is a DApp, decentralized app, and as any other, it requires testing through a contained laboratory. But in order to progress, we need to get out of this comfort zone and make sure the elements that we have worked hard and continue to build are responsive and working well on a decentralized setting. I mean, the only point of me reading this is to let you guys know that that big milestone for them releasing their beta version. I don't know, this guy doesn't give me much confidence. This is the CEO. It doesn't give me much confidence. It sounds like a beta mail instead of a beta app, if I may. From my CEO, I want to hear this is a big step forward. Obviously, I know the point of beta is to find bugs and fix bugs. It's just interesting to hear. I mean, he's transparent about it. I'll give him that. If you want, I'm just going to sum this up real quickly. If you wanted to start and go to Golem right now, for me, it's not my kind of project. I'll tell you why at the very end, but I'm not invested in Golem at the moment. But if you wanted to, I recommend going to golem.network/rendering/download. very intuitive tutorial on how to do it. We're not even gonna, I'm just gonna give you a few highlights, then we're gonna move on. But that video is really good. Basically, it'll take you through onboarding screens. It will, you'll learn how to accept terms and conditions, and then you'll have the option right here of sending Golem your data so they can get better, so they can start learning. Me, I'm a private guy. I always click do not send my data to the company. But you guys do what you want. If you are invested, then you probably want them to get better. You probably want to them to have your data. And last but not least, something else that I noticed about them with all my research that I really liked was they're very transparent. They keep their investors informed. They have a bi-monthly AMA on Reddit answering all questions that investors have. And if you want to be a part of this month's next AMA, it's on Wednesday, April 25th at 6 p.m. I'm going to try and be there. There's already questions being asked. They seem like they want to answer all questions, and they're very transparent, which I like. Alrighty, let's wrap this up. Should I invest in Golem? For me, the things that I like the best about them, their team to me stands out. Their team is really good. I like that. They launched last year, and if I may just, let me go back here. At one point they spiked. This is some research I found out through my studies. At one point in April of last year, so 1 year ago, they were top 10. Right now they're floating at, I think, 57, 54. So last year they were in the top 10 of cryptocurrencies, and now they're in 54. To me, what does that mean? The team is really good. They still are a player, but if they're not keeping, their standing, it just shows that, there are a lot more altcoins out there. In a sense, I think they're becoming a little less relevant with all the other altcoins solving all those other problems. You guys decide for yourself. Again, I'm no expert. For me, I'm not investing. There are plenty more altcoins that I would invest in that I really like. You guys, let me know what you think in the comments. If you got any value from today, or if you have any more questions, if you got any value, give me a like. I really appreciate, we're trying to form a community here. And let me know what you think in the comments. All right, team. See you tomorrow.